Our next guest is Mr. Matt Douglas, Batesville Junior High School principal. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes. Our first question is, a few years ago, Batesville School District restructured Batesville Junior High School to serve students in grades 6 through 8. Transitioning to 6th grade can be a big deal for some students. What do we have in place to make that transition more successful for our students?
So for 6th grade, we've started it's kind of changed a little, but it's a transition camp. It started initially as kind of a multiple day camp that we did with 6th grade, and now we've kind of fine-tuned it and condensed it down to a day. But we have a camp during the summer. This one will be just a week or two before school starts. 6th grade will be able to come on campus. They'll be able to meet all of the 6th grade teachers, tour the building, go through class schedules and kind of the student handbook, and then we're going to issue the 6th grade their Chromebooks during that time, so they'll have them on the first day of school when they come back.
What do parents need to know about required courses at Batesville Junior High School?
At junior high, it's a little different than going to high school because our course offerings are a little more rigid. They don't quite have the flexibility. So obviously all of our students have required math, science, English, and social studies courses. In 6th grade, we also have a literacy class, so English is kind of doubled up. And with junior high at second period, it is a reading intervention period for all students. So essentially students will have 4 classes a day on an A day, 4 on a B day. And so their requireds are pretty much set for them for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that they'll have. And then 6th grade will end up with one elective choice that they'll get. 7th and 8th grade then will get 2 depending on what they select. They'll have 2 blocks for electives.
Are there opportunities for special classes like PE, art, and music within the Batesville Junior High School?
Actually, this year we might be adding a theater option, which we've not had before. The high school theater teacher met with me about a week ago, and we're trying to work out an option for that to be an elective course at junior high. And then strings, choir, band, are all elective options that they can access. We've also, over the last 2 years, added STEM options and some computer coding or more technology-related electives for students to access also. And then as they get into 8th grade, you have choices like Agri and some facts classes and things like that.
Many of our elementary campuses have an East class or classes. What do parents need to know about East at the junior high school?
So East at junior high is a very highly sought after class. In fact, every year we have more students that request East than we have slots for East. So it's an application process, probably not any different really than the elementaries. Students will apply with Ms. Dellinger, the East facilitator, and they have an application process for that, and they will select the students that can enter East. But any student that's interested can enter an application for that and apply to be in the East program. And then Ms. Dellinger will do the selection for that. But it's a very popular course at junior high.
What are some of the extracurricular opportunities available to students at the junior high school?
Our 6th grade students continue the same athletic opportunities at the elementary. So they can go for basketball and cross country for 6th grade. Once you get into 7th and 8th grade, you have football, volleyball. We don't start the softball. We get some questions about softball and baseball. Those don't start till you get to the 9th grade year. But they can also access the cross country. They can do track. Trap is available. We have students that compete in trap. So once you get 7th and 8th, then you have those opportunities just for the normal basketball, volleyball, football, track, cross country, and trap activities. And then we also have esports for students maybe that aren't necessarily interested, or maybe that's not their area for the athletic opportunities, but we do have esports available for students with that technology interest.
How are students at the junior high engaged in learning about various careers?
So one of the things at junior high that I've enjoyed since we've been there is a career development class. When I first came, Miss Deemer was doing that. Of course, she's retired now. Miss Laura Lawrence is taking that over. But that class is a pretty neat addition because every 8th grade student will go through that in their 8th grade year, and gives them access to surveys about what type of jobs they might be interested in. It also does some interests, just generally what's your personality tend to promote and things that you might be interested in the future. And those are all things you're able to access through that career development class. So every 8th grade student gets an opportunity to go through that. They also bring in guest speakers from different vocational and technical and professional areas that come in and talk to the students and tell them about what their job would be like and what to expect and what you would need to do if you were interested in that area. So students get a lot of access to that type just through the career development. Then also in the last 2 years, Naviance has been incorporated into that a little bit more, which also now has that packaged into the Naviance program. So some of those interest inventories that started years ago with Miss Deemer that she did on paper or things, we're able to incorporate that through Naviance now, and that tracks with those students as they move up. So that's been a good addition. And then you started having like the mobile come over for the careers for the kids. So just in the last several years, they've had lots of opportunities to see some vocational opportunities and educational, post-secondary educational opportunities, and see what those would look like and begin to start accessing that type of information in 8th grade. So it's been very beneficial for our students.
Our final guest today is Miss Stacy Lindsay, Batesville High School Principal. Thank you so much for being with us today. So our first question is, we know that Batesville High School serves students in grades 9 through 12, and I can imagine that transitioning to 9th grade can be a big deal for some kiddos. Tell us about the transition program you have in place for students entering grade 9.
Can you imagine being a 9th grader having to come into the school that has 1,000 students and a whole big area and multiple areas, and it's very scary, and we want to take that away. We do not want kids to be afraid of coming into Batesville High School. We want it to be a very welcoming and a very warm place. And so we do have a freshman orientation, a day in which we bring in the freshmen so they can get to know each other. And most of them know each other as they've been in the 8th grade. But we'll have new students that will like to meet our former students in the 8th grade. And so we bring them in on August 5th this year. It'll be August 5th of 2021. We will bring them in. We will go over how to do, we have an e-pass. So they'll have their Chromes, and we actually do a hall pass, electronic hall pass. We'll teach them how to do that. We will teach them how to read their schedules. We will show them their different classrooms. We'll teach them how to go through the lunch line. We will serve them lunch, so we want everyone to come and ready to eat, because we want to be able to serve them lunch and have them meet together and socialize together. So August 5th is a big day, and it's a big time for the 9th grade to come in and enjoy the campus and look around and find where they need to go. They'll have their schedules. And so we do a freshman orientation because we want them on that first day of school to feel like it's their school and that they're ready to be there.
9th grade is the year that students begin completing graduation requirements. What should parents know about academic advising and Naviance?
9th grade is kind of that big year. That is when you start getting credits, and we require either 23, in this coming year 25 credits to be a distinguished, 24 credits to be an honor graduate, and 23 credits to graduate. So you have, each child has an option of how they want to handle their 4 years of education. And in that, we have a period built in called Pioneer Time. That is second block. We call it Pioneer Time. It's our second block of time. And it is 40 minutes, and each child has a mentor teacher. Kind of like if you're familiar with college, you had a mentor in college. Well, now we have a mentor in high school, a mentor teacher, and that teacher will help the child with the 4-year plan, will keep them working on their education and toward what they want to do, and help them find their interest. They work through a program, our college and career program that we use is called Naviance. And so the students in that classroom, when they go to second block, they'll work on Naviance. There's all kinds of different tests on there that can evaluate their interest surveys, that kind of thing, to help them with that. They also keep up with their credits. Okay, you've gotten 4 or 5 credits, this semester, or half credits, and by the end of the year you'll have 4 or 5 full credits. And so keep that rolling for them during that mentor time. So it's really nice to have a teacher that you can go to and say, hey, look, I'm not sure that I want to stay on the medical field. I think I'd like to go into aviation. Okay, here we go. Here's how we're going to plan for this coming year on that. So that second block is really nice to have, so that students get close and build a relationship with their mentor teacher and can work through Naviance. And this coming year, we're going to add a new piece to it. We're going to add an ACT prep piece as well. Naviance has an ACT prep piece, but we're going to add an additional one as well to help students, because I know that's one thing parents really want their child to do well on ACT, and we want them to do well too. And so we have invested in a little program that's going to help during our second block as well.
In addition to the advisors that you mentioned, what other key personnel are available to help students navigate courses, career opportunities, or even their social emotional health?
You know, we have a very strong staff, and a staff that's very supportive of students and their needs. And I will say this year, it's been a very difficult year. We may not always recognize students with some social emotional issues because they bounce through the hallways, or they seem happy, or they're remoting in like they're supposed to. But what we're finding is that those kids are just covering up some things. This year has been very depressive for many people, not just our students, but for adults as well. So we have counselors, Ms. Wallace and Ms. Keller, that are available to our students, and I'm going to say 24/7 because I know they've answered that phone after hours many times already this year. And they are more than willing to help at any given time. Ms. Gerhardt, her new position next year is going to be academic dean of students. But she is a former counselor and has been for many years, and she's always there for the students as well, to talk to them about their futures, concurrent credits, how to get into UACCB, all kinds of things like that that may have a child stressed. We also have administration. Mr. Bledsoe is the student advisor for 9th and 10th grade, and then we have Mr. Robertson, and he's 11th and 12th. And our students build strong relationships with those administrators, and they are more than welcome to come to them, and they are always willing to help. And you know, you always have those coaches. You know, we've got coaches of sports teams, and students often look to those people as their heroes, or their people that they look up to, their role models. And so those coaches are vital in helping students and helping us identify students that are in need possibly. So we have coaches that are always available to them. We have our counselors, we have our administrative team, our teachers, our mentor, advisor teachers like you were talking about. And then we have extremely good club and other activity sponsors, our choir sponsors, our band. I know that the band kids get very close to Mr. Poff, our band director. We have, you know, then you have clubs like FBLA. We now have a travel club. And so we just have lots of things and opportunities for kids to build relationships with adults that can help them and guide them in the direction that they need to go.
BHS has really something for everyone. Tell us a little about some of the career and technical education programs and the internship program.
The internship is really, really good. It's an opportunity for seniors. And the seniors have that opportunity through interviews, and it's a full interview, so they get the opportunity to interview, and then they get the opportunity to work out in the community as an employee of that business. And then if they do well or go on, they may get a full-time job. But the internship is for their senior year, or when it's available. I know we've had internships at the beginning of this year, of 2020, but then we had another set of 5 internships available in 2021. So we were very excited to be able to offer those students employment, but also offer them the opportunity to practice and get better at their interview skills, and to get that work experience, to understand what it is to have work ethic. And on the CTE academies, we are adding 3 new ones. We're going to add the Medical Pathway Academy, we're going to add the Aviation Pathway Academy, and we're going to add the Video Journalism Pathway. So we're really excited about being able to do that. Our first classes in the video journalism and in the medical will be this coming year, 2021-2022. Our second class, which will be medical terminology, will be added to our sports medicine pathway. So we're really excited to be able to offer those 3 additional pathways. Then, on top of that, we have technology pathways, we have agri, all systems of agri. We have 2 very good agri teachers that are more than willing to do all kinds of different activities. We have robots this year, aquabots that they're actually using. Ms. Sims is using those. I know that Mr. Cornett is really working hard on the welding and getting students prepared in welding. We have a strong FFA as well. And the technology is really strong. We have accounting and different things like that the students have access to do. And then we have the FCCLA, the Home Economics as it used to be called. Now it's called FACS, FACS. And so they have the ability to do that, which is all things, we think of it as only kind of being like the old home ec, but it's not. It's all kinds of, yes, it's working with babies, yes, it's cooking, yes, it's some of those things, but it is much more than that now. It's built to a much higher level than when we were all in school, for sure. And then we're also going to offer a teacher cadet program this year. So the students have a lot of opportunities in our CTE, career and technical education, and not just math, science, history, and English. I mean, we have a lot of things to offer outside of just the core classes.
What do parents need to know about concurrent credit opportunities and AP coursework for students?
On the concurrent credit, that means that you are going to get college credit and get the credit for a core class in high school. For example, they could take English Comp 1 at UACCB and get the credit, the college credit, and get the credit, the unit for the high school. So it's almost like double dipping. You're going to get the college credit and you're going to get the school credit. And you know, we talked about previously, you needed somewhere between 23 and 25 credits to graduate, and those college credits count toward that, which is a great opportunity. And a lot of people may not take the risk of doing that, and then some people may not have the ability to get there. We are going to provide a bus every single day to and from UACCB. So a student should never be afraid to take a course at the college, nor should it be a hindrance that they don't have transportation or their own vehicle to get there, because we will transport them. We have all kinds of classes that kids can take through concurrent credit. There's English Comp 1 and 2, there's math classes, there's visual and fine arts classes. There's all kinds of things that kids can take, not only just core classes, but they can take electives as well that meet the electives for our school for the graduation. And so not only will they get the college credit, but then again get the credits for the high school. Speaking personally, my own daughter graduated with 18 hours toward college when she graduated high school from Batesville High School. So that made it very, very nice as a parent. And the cost is very, very minimal to what you will pay when your child actually does go to college. Also, there's things out there at UACCB, and we do run our concurrent credit right now through UACCB, but we are looking at other options such as ASU and some other area colleges close to us like Ozarka to get some of the concurrent credit from those colleges as well. Also looking at having our own teachers teach concurrent credit. We do that right now with Coach Wentz. He actually teaches a Western Civ on our campus. And next year we're looking at doing that with medical terminology. One of our teachers will teach medical terminology, and it will be a concurrent credit class. So there's lots of opportunities with concurrent credit, and it's really nice that a child can actually graduate high school with an associate's degree at this point. And then on our AP courses, a student can take honors. They can take honors English, they can take honors science, honors social studies, all kinds of things like that, and eventually end up in an AP class. And an AP class then allows the advanced placement. At the end of the AP class, like AP Math, Calculus, AP English, you end those 2 classes or end a class and you take an exam. And if you pass that exam, you get college credit for that class. So that you have 2 ways to get college credit while you're in high school, which cuts down on expenses when it comes to college, and you're prepared when you get to college. So both of those are great opportunities for our students at BHS.
I would add that if you are interested in learning more about taking concurrent credit courses through UACCB, please check out our Pioneer Parent Academy video for options for high school students through UACCB. East has been so important to our school district. Our students have had the opportunity to participate in East in elementary school and in junior high. Will they have that same opportunity in high school?
Absolutely. East is a vital part of what we do in school. And you know, people do not realize oftentimes that East is a community-based program. It actually gets the community involved, and these students work for the community and to better our community. Their projects are based around what can we do to help. And that's very, very important. And Miss Jeannie Repke, is a leader in our community. She serves on the Chamber of Commerce as an ambassador, and she also has been through the Leadership Academy, and she also is an exceptional East facilitator. And so, yes, we want students to do all 4 years if they want to do them, and they also get a cord. We talk about graduation and graduation cords, and students get cords for being completers of the different CTE programs we talked about earlier, the career and technical education programs, and they will also get a cord for completing the East program. And East is one of those classes that students can self-monitor and be self-motivated in. What do you want to do and how do you want to do it? And that's great for our kids. It teaches them how to be problem solvers, how to think on their feet, how to interact with their community. And so those are great skills that we're teaching students through the East program.
And our final question is about extracurricular opportunities. Tell us about some of the things that are available to students at Batesville High School.
And we'll finish with this last question. And so our students at BHS, and you know we're Batesville Charter High School now. We still say BHS, but we are Batesville Charter High School, and we're very excited about that. Just a little side note, we're working on spending some money and updating the high school as far as the charter is concerned, and the charter, talking about opportunities for our students. The charter offered us the ability to have 3 new academies: the video journalism, the aviation, and the medical sports medicine pathway. And so that has opened up some opportunities for us, for students, and we've talked a lot about academics today, and students have all kinds of opportunities through the academics, but they also have a lot of opportunities through our clubs and organizations. We have FCLA, we have FCA, which has gotten very large. Ms. Bentz and Mr. Repke are in charge of that, and there's 100 kids involved in that. They have guest speakers. It's so good for our kids. And they have GSA, they have FBLA. We now have a new travel club that the students are involved in. We have esports. And so students that want to compete but don't necessarily want to compete in the typical sports can compete through esports. And then of course we have all the sports programs: tennis, bowling. I so enjoyed watching bowling this year, and they did very well. We had a state champion on the bowling team. Football, basketball, soccer, wrestling. You know, we have all of those things that students can do as well. We meet, our clubs meet during second block. We have beta. We have student council, which is the leadership program that we have for our students that want to be in leadership. They can be in our student council. So we have a lot of opportunities there. We have quiz bowl. Students that like to compete again but don't necessarily want to play sports has the opportunity to do quiz bowl. We have mock trial. Those that are interested in being a lawyer possibly want to absolutely get on that mock trial, or just enjoy debating or arguing. Be a good place for mock trial. We have chess. And so there's just so many things, but one thing that I can't emphasize enough is that every child should be in something. It does not matter if it's chess, if it's football, if it's band, if it's choir, if it's drama. They need to be in something. They need to have a group. And I want every child to feel like they have a group. You know, I'm buddies with my band peeps. You know, we hang out and that's my band group. I'm part of the football team. I hang out with the football players. I'm part of the cheerleading. We have cheerleading and dance. I'm part of that group. I'm going to hang out with them. I'm part of GSA. I'm going to hang out with them. FBLA. You know, that every child has and feels like they belong to something. And so I want them in those groups, and I want those organizations thriving and doing well. And they are. And we compete well. FFA, huge competition there, and they're on their way to state, getting ready for state competition. Archery. Archery is a big one. We have archery practice at 6:45 in the morning, track. So it's just endless. It's just endless. And I guarantee I have forgotten 20 of them just sitting here. But there are so many things for our students to pick out and be a part of. Just be a part of something. Just feel like you are a part of the school.
This concludes our series on school level transitions. If you missed part 1 related to pre-K and elementary transitions, check out the link below. We hope you'll consider Pioneer Nation. School choice deadline is May 1st.